Mike Citera, how you doing, sir?
Doing good.
Excellent. Dude, so I've only performed one time at the fucking Comedy Store, which is like Kill Tony.
Okay.
You know?
How'd it go?
Bombed. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing.
But I mean, it's like they throw you in there like they're the wolves. So like, unless you come out unless you know them or like you come out really swinging.
I think
they want it to go very bound. They want it to be a chaotic. That's the environment.
And they could just pick you apart. Yeah. I don't know. It was one of those things to where I got like mixed feelings from it. It was like Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen who were the guests on it. And so like I fucking told them, I was like, dude, you guys called my name. I came up here, fucking did what I got to do, and fucking command this stage. And Brian Callen was just like, yeah. And then fucking Brendan Schaub was saying he was like scared of me or some shit. I'm like, dude, you're the fucking cage fighter. Because I was all dressed in black.
Or did you showed up looking like you were gonna shoot up at school? I've seen you in like that outfit, like you're gonna go fight vampires sometimes. Like you roll in a ha-ha with like sunglasses from like a 70s bender and like trench coat. Yeah, I mean you look like every good guy in an 80s movie, but every bad guy in the current state of America. I was just fucking watching Back to School was on TV last night, the Rodney Dangerfield movie.
That's all.
It has Robert Downey Jr. in it as like a 16-year-old kid, and he's like this outcast kid, but he's dressed like a school shooter.
Oh my! He has like a trench coat on, right?
He has like a trench coat on the whole movie. But that was like all the people and all those Anthony Michael Hall characters always had that. So I don't know.
That was like kind of that fucking style though, right?
I think it was the style back in the 80s.
Guess.
I don't know.
Fuck. Trench coats and shit. I've never owned a trench coat. I don't think I want to.
I don't think I've ever owned a trench coat or a leather jacket, but I feel like a lot of comics have leather jackets sometimes.
You ever feel like you ever go to like the potluck and like you ever do that at all anymore?
I used to live right next to the store, so I used to be there a lot. But I host my mic on Mondays, which is annoying because the potluck used to be Sundays and Mondays. But now just Mondays. Dude. So I try to get over there, but like when I lived next door, it was so much easier.
You just walk right next door to it?
Yeah, I just walk over. I would still drive. They gave me a fucking parking space when I used to run shows there. So like, even though I lived like half a mile away, I would fucking drive to the fucking shows.
That's dope.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, I'm not going to not use the parking space.
I don't know. I'd see a lot of people that like they get put on like the bringer shows with the fucking 8 people, and then it's just like, oh, that's it.
Oh yeah. Well, I used to fucking run one of those. But,
a bringer show like that,
like a long time ago, up in the belly room. But I was nicer. I wasn't the guy who was like, if you showed up without people, I wouldn't be like, you can't go on. I'd be like, go on at the end, and I'd get yelled at, and I'd be like, there's 2 more left, and and meanwhile there's like 6 more left. I was like, nobody tell the management, and so the whole time I'm just apologizing in a corner. Meanwhile, some of those other guys today would have been like, fuck you guys, you're not going up. We're out of time. I'd be like, get up.
That's fucking dope, though. That's caring right there, you know?
I mean, it's also just, I don't want to get into a confrontation. People get crazy in situations like that.
You ever
I think I've only
see that one dude who fucking wrote that big manifesto about all the fucking...
No, what is this?
It's like, he wrote like 100 comics that he fucking, like, either likes or, like, doesn't like and shit. Fuck.
Who is it?
I don't want to say his name, but he got banned from the Comedy Store for whipping his dick out. So you probably know who I'm talking about.
I could think of like 9 people.
Oh, really?
This could be about. I mean,
okay.
Well, it's fine. You can just. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. So it's this fucking long fucking list, just talking shit about fucking everybody. And then it's also like talking about like people that he likes and shit. Like fucking Rachel was on there. Wolfson, she was on there, and then there was fuck, man.
Well, I don't think I know what you're talking about, so I'm gonna have to ask you about this.
You probably do know who I'm talking about.
I'm sure I do when you tell me. But
he's yeah,
playing like a guessing game. You can just tell me, and you can edit this out, or if you don't want to do that. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Now I know. Mm-hmm. I know that happened.
And I was just like reading that shit, and I was like, wow, man, it's fucking interesting just watching these people just burn themselves down.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that guy he's a little off, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a character.
Totally off. And then I guess he was at like the next stage and just fucking completely pulled his pants down. Like, what the? Why are you doing that, dude?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see your dick, bro.
I once was at a mic where the host pulled his dick out.
What the fuck?
It was hilarious. It was at the haha. I won't say who. This is like, I want to say like 6 years ago, and it was back when they had TVs where the feed went to the lobby. so that way you could always see who was on stage in the lobby.
Oh.
which was actually kind of useful because if you really want to see a friend go up, you would be able to be like, all right, they're not on, I can stay out in the lobby and not watch. But the host was just, it was like, must have been one of those nights where there's like 10 people there, and he's just like doing his thing, and he's like, it's not funny. What about this? He just literally puts his dick in his hand. He's like, come on, it's a dick. and like I was in the lobby and this was on the TV, and I'm like, is anybody? And the owner, nobody was looking at it. I'm like, I'm not gonna get him in trouble. And then the whole thing continued. Like nobody complained. It was weird.
A lot of like sexual.
It was
aggression.
Louis C.K. No.
Oh my god.
No, but like this was weird. I think it must have been like one of those nights where it was like a sausage fest in there. So it must have been like 10 dudes and like one woman who wasn't paying attention. And like nobody acted phased. It wasn't like anybody in there was like, ooh. Or
isn't it crazy that the girl that told New York Times about Louis C.K.'s she's at like the haha now.
Yeah.
She's nice. Don't get me wrong.
Well,
Nice.
here's the thing. She's super nice, and like I didn't need to know that information. Like, was it you? Somebody pulled me aside. They're like, just so you know, she's the one who got Louis C.K. I'm like, it's not like I was gonna pull my dick out while hosting a show.
It was.
I'll even do that like
it was
after a date.
I think it was CJ. So
CJ.
I didn't know about it either until like so he was hosting the mic outside. And you ever see that dude, Nick Country? He's kind of like, looks like Barney Rubble from The Simpsons, right?
The Flintstones? Or Barney Rubble?
No.
Barney from The Simpsons or Barney from
Simpsons.
Flintstones? Simpsons Barney.
Yeah.
Is Barney have a last name? Barney Gumble.
Gumble.
Is
that it?
Yeah, Barney Gumble. Yeah, that's why.
So he looks like this dude, right? And he's on stage. She's sitting in the fucking audience. And he's got like the joke about, you know, ladies, I don't see what the big deal is about Louis C.K. jacking off on the phone, you know, when he's talking to a girl, right? Because... ladies, we're always jacking off on the phone. And she's just sitting right there. And there's 3 fucking people in the audience.
Did she say anything?
No. And then CJ jumped up. He's like, well, you want me to break the ice here for you? So that's the girl that actually, dude. It was,
CJ was hosting and he said that?
It was perfect,
That's
dude.
fucking funny.
It was fucking perfect, dude. And then I've always seen, it's interesting, you get like Andrew Dice Clay's son that comes in there.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy for sure. For sure. I don't know, man. How long you been doing stand-up for?
Let's see. It's got to be like, at this point, like double digits. Probably like 10
Really?
10 or 11. I've been doing it since I was like a kid, so like I've been doing it for like a minute. But like, you know, there's times like where there's years where I'll do like 500 shows and like 300 mics. And there's years where I'll do like 80, 100 shows, just really focus. And then there's like, right now I'm getting up like couple times a week, but I'm more like focused on like writing and just like, you know, like, and sometimes I would get up like 10 times in a week and it wouldn't really benefit it. You ever do that where
you feel like you're just kicking a dead horse around the room?
You're just, so like it's almost like gives more energy to some of the newer jokes to really work on them only a couple times, but really make sure they're fleshed out. It's also an excuse for me being lazy a little bit.
I don't know. I think like you got to go to fucking. You can't just go to the haha and be in front of the same people.
First of all, it's the same exact people there every day.
Exactly.
So it gets monotonous to watch those other people, and you also, if you do the same jokes in front of those people, you're not really like working like a new muscle. I'll go there a couple times a week because it's close by and it's where I run a show. So sometimes I'll meet people there and put them on a show. It's easy.
Right.
I know the hosts. I can get up usually whenever I want, and they can usually comp most of my drinks. So I mean, that's why I go there a lot.
That is a beautiful thing.
I also love getting out there and exploring. I like going with other people on like a run. Like I'd love to go. I like going on a run in like a car with like 2 or 3 people. Not too many. If you go out with
like
too many
4
people,
mics.
you get stuck. Yeah. If you go out with like 1 friend or 2 friends, that way you can all usually get up in the same frame. If you go out with like 4 friends, then you're waiting around and they're like, we can't leave Bill behind. But I'm like, he's fucking last.
Fuck Bill.
Yeah, but like there's so many raffles these days. Like
the lotteries and shit.
Lotteries are cool if you kind of like have a grip on it. But like if you're going out with a lot of people, that's if you go out with people, you usually got to go to like ones that go in order, so you can at least show up together, leave together.
Like sign up at like the 4th wall or some shit like
Yeah,
that.
if you want to go really crazy, like I think you could go to like Flappers at like 4 o'clock, sign up, run to the Haha, sign up, do another mic in the meanwhile, go back to Haha, fling over to Flappers, and then go to Hollywood from like 7 until 10. Like I think my record, I may have gotten 6 Hollywood mics in.
Really?
In New York, you can do like 9 or 10.
That's what I've heard.
Like,
You just walk down the street. And fucking,
especially if you go down to Greenwich Village by the Cellar, they have like 3 or 4 shows that are like barked in shows. So basically, they're going like 3 or 4 times a night. The audience is all just tourists walking around. Then they have like 3 or 4 open mics on that street. On that street alone, you can do like 4 mics, and then you can go hang out at the Cellar after.
That's dope, dude.
But then you could also, if you want to take the subway, you could go like uptown, like
and do more fucking mics.
there's different pockets of places to go. And New York, I think, because there's so much competition, there are some sick happy hours in New York City. If you find them, there's a lot of like secret ones. When I was living there, they had quarter beer night on like Tuesdays and Mondays on
awesome.
81st. Then there was like dollar or $2 like whiskey night somewhere. So like if you find those places, it can be dangerous. But like if you're like in between or like you're like on the way. Or, you know, or if you're, yeah, I don't know.
It could be dangerous. I like that.
I feel like if you're going to do 6 mics, you need some fuel. Like, you can't, like, do 6 mics without having a couple drinks in the middle. Usually some of these mics out here, they'll make you buy one anyway. Which is, like, annoying. Like, if you're starting out sober, you might as well have, like, a couple beers in you so you can just, that way when you have to get a drink, you're not, like, upset. Versus, like, I paid $10 and I'm still sober, you know?
That was a $35 open mic.
Yeah, seriously. That shit'll add up.
It does add up. I don't know what fucking some of these people consider happy hour anymore, dude. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, not in this town. I mean.
Yeah, no shit, dude. Everybody's just trying to like fucking, you know, do the shakedown and try to get as much money out of everybody as they possibly can.
Yeah. Do you know what you used to get at the Haha back when I first moved here? Yeah, for $5, you got 5 minutes, you got a free beer.
Doesn't that make sense?
Then they had waters, but now they don't have the waters.
Now
$5
like,
in a free beer. So it's like if you're gonna pay $5 for a beer anyway, might as well get the mic out of it.
Yeah, that totally makes fucking sense.
It was a dope deal. But
I mean, like compared to like some of the free ones, like the Improv, you know, their mic, and like you might not get up, but you didn't have to
a lot of the
pay.
free ones are like it's like 3 minutes raffle, and there's like 60 people there, and they're putting up 30, which is great. But the really good free ones, if you can find like a coffee shop where it's like 5 or 6 minutes, and there's not 80 people there, but there's somehow still like 15 or 20 people there.
Right.
They're real rarer than they used to be, but when you find one of those mics, it's fun.
Like the Vinador Cafe, that
Yeah.
one.
I don't know. I need like at this point, I need people to like recommend a mic because like I've been to some bad places.
What do you
Like I'm
mean?
used to it. Like I'll sometimes just blindly just go to a mic that like, oh, this is in the area, and then like there's been places where it's like 3 people and the other 2 are like literally insane people, and then there's been like mics where it's like there's nobody in there, and then like I do a set, then all of a sudden like 20 people come in like after, or like there's like things I need to know, like the little secrets. I'm out of touch with Los Angeles open mic.
Those like late night Lexington ones. I used to go to those, dude, and that place is fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah,
it's I was out back. And this girl was making tacos, and this dude fucking like comes out of the back door, and he's like, "Anything you guys want, I got it." He sticks his tongue out, and he has 2 fucking Xanax bars on his tongue, and he just crushes them up. I'm like, "What the fuck, dude?"
and just
Yeah, that's downtown for you. And then the Oyster House. Did you ever go to that one at all?
no, I've heard about it. It's not open anymore. Is it?
They closed it down.
Was it an actual oyster house?
It is a fucking actual restaurant.
Do comics get oysters there, like while they're performing, or is it just like comics just doing what comics do and just getting water?
Yeah, both, I guess. You know, like I would go there and get food. They had pretty good food.
Yeah,
But it's mostly like an all black like crowd, dude, and they fucking like if you bomb in there, you just bomb like 4 times as hard.
Oh, I love spots like that. That's
where you really
fun.
test yourself.
There used to be this one show, I forget where it was, and it was like half open mic, half show. But the point was the audience was intentionally rowdy, and they filled up a room with like 100 people who knew that they could heckle and yell whatever they wanted. And basically, you went there for 5 minutes, you got on stage, you said whatever you wanted, but the people came to heckle. So comics were heckling, people are heckling. It got really rowdy. It was like I would say it's 75% urban, but there was also like on the brink of town where it was also like some like little Latin, little Caucasian, and they would just yell. At one point, like somebody was throwing chairs, and the host was like, "Yeah, that's just what happens." So I'm like, "Oh fuck!" I think I did it once, and I had a great time. Because like you can have a fun time when you know that that's what you're getting, but then if you're the comic who didn't know that's what it was, and like somebody brought you there, I've seen people have like meltdowns. But if you know, okay, this is gonna be 5 minutes of hell, and it's gonna be hilarious.
It's like those shows that you would see like country bands playing, and they got the fucking like the chicken wire in front of them because everybody's throwing beer bottles and shit.
Yeah.
That's cool. Where's that fucking spot at?
It just definitely doesn't exist anymore. It was
dangerous.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It may have been, but for everything I heard about, it was good. This was like maybe like 7 years ago, and it was like I want to say at least 30, 40 minutes out of town. So I would say near Inglewood, but like not in Inglewood, just outside of it.
Sounds like a place that would be kind of rowdy. Huh? Fuck, dude. Did you ever go to the fourth wall when it was like before it was all structured out?
I don't think so.
Sometimes, dude, you've been there before, right?
Yeah.
So, like, before there was any kind of structure, you'd get there, like, and be 5th on the list, dude, and there's, like, 40 people crammed into that little fucking space. Punk rock as shit, dude.
Nice.
You know, now it's just all fucking super. I can understand why Jim did it.
I like the structure of that. Like, I sometimes, like, I like that you know exactly what's happening. Because I love that there's an audience in that room that will stay in that room, and it's the right amount of comics so that you don't feel like you're really trapped. I feel like I can watch 8 or 9 comics. I don't understand the people who sign up to do 6 spots there in one night. Like, how can you do
fuck
that?
dude.
I usually, even one time I tried to do 2 there, and I was like, 1 is probably the better way to do it, and then be on with it, you know. But at least you know exactly when you're going up. You know that you'll have people in there. I kind of like that.
And guaranteed, for sure.
Sometimes you go to like Mike's and there's just like nobody there or too many people there.
Wait, yeah, that's very true. And then you're like, fuck, I just wasted my time driving all the way over here for fucking nothing. Jesus, dude. How long you been hosting?
That's why I like because it's so close by that like sometimes I'll go there and I won't even just go up just to see, kind of feel it out, see if anybody's there. But last night I just came by to see if there's any newer comics because I got put on my show in a week, and then it was only people I knew, so I just laid on a couch for like half an hour, and then I got out of there.
I've not even sat on those couches yet.
Yes, they're being really strict about those couches. They're like, but they look like McDonald's couches. Like they look like if you went to McDonald's in the '90s, like after a soccer game or something, and they had like all those like they look like they're plastic couches,
vinyl.
But like they're being so anal about those couches. So like comics aren't allowed to sit on them. Audience aren't allowed to sit on them. They're the VIP section. So like at my show, I was like, they didn't let the comics sit on those couches. So I was the only one on the couch. I don't mind it. I need personal space. I get very, very claustrophobic when I haven't had time to recharge. Like I need to have recharge time. And if I go to the club without it, if I have all the couches, that's good enough for me. It's the same as like laying in bed.
All the couches?
All
dude.
the couches.
It's like fucking 25
And then if somebody sits
feet
there,
of
I don't even
couches.
have to now. I used to have to be the bad guy and be like, I'm sorry, you can't sit here. But now they'll just do it. They come running in like in slow motion. No! VIP only! And I'm fucking VIPs on a Monday night in the rain. Get the fuck out of here. The show had like 42 audience. Like they could sit on the couch. It's better for the show because the audience sits up front. So whatever. I guess on the weekends, the ballers who want to spend $20 instead of free can sit on those couches. On the weekend, it's like either free tickets or you pay $20 in your VIP.
Yeah, this is nice, right? This is real.
They used to have buckets of beer there, which I thought is a really good deal. But I think I must have got out of hand. That was like some cruise ship shit where you could get a bucket of like 5 Tecates for like $16 as an audience member.
That makes sense.
I feel like most clubs don't do that anymore.
They're just
it came with like a bottle opener on the pail. I used to get one of those every day before I had like a discount there and I knew the bartenders. So I just be sitting in the back of the fucking bucket of Tecates, which is hard to drink 5 of those. So it's not like doing like a couple of shots. It's like you're sitting there the whole show just chugging. You get on stage all bloated.
They're not. I don't know. They're not very good. It's kind of like the fucking.
It's kind of like
Mexican Budweiser.
It's a Mexican Bud Light,
right?
Even though it's not light, it tastes like it. Mm-hmm. That's the whole thing, but it's only like 4% alcohol, so it's not like it's basically light. But there's Tecate Light, which is definitely like
lighter.
Nothing.
It's like fucking Michelob Ultra. Like, dude, you gotta drink what 40 of those fucking things?
They have a cool commercial. Whatever they're doing for the commercial, it has like a catchy theme song now. But like Michelob Ultra won't get you drunk.
No, fuck no. Might as well just drink non-alcoholic beer or water.
Yeah. Oh, it's Michelob Ultra, if like for when you want a hangover without ever getting drunk. That's like the worst. I'm making myself sound like such an alcoholic, but like my tolerance is like at this point, it's like
mine too, dude.
It's like frat superstar tolerance. So like if I want to get drunk, like I'm gonna look like a maniac ordering, and everybody just always like if you see me
straight for the
if you
IPAs?
see me ordering. Well, IPAs is like the one life hack I talk about that on stage, but the other one is just if you get a bunch of shots in one cup and nobody hears you order it, it just looks like one shot. This is the most alcoholic tip you can get. If you go to a bar and you say, hey, let me get 5 shots of blank in this cup, and then it just looks like you're having one Jack on the rocks, but I don't put it on the rocks. No rocks. So it looks like one Jack neat, but it's really like 4 or 5 shots. And usually if you order like that, they'll comp a couple of the shots, no matter where you are.
Why not?
I mean, it's like, well, we're for 5 shots.
How much does that end up being? Like 35
It depends where you are. Depends who you know.
That's true. Fucking.
I like to go to bars where I know where it's 0.
That's true. There's a bar like down the street from the restaurant I work at, and I fucking went in there on New Year's. A bartender just kept giving me shots and beers, and she's like, you know what? I haven't even put any of these in on the computer. She's like, you want another one? I just gave her $20. She got me fucked up.
That's my problem. Like, I still like tip like $40 or $50. Like, if I have a friend working, like most people, there's like selfish people who I kind of envy a little bit. There's people I have friends that'll go out to a bar that their friend works at. They'll drink the whole night. They won't give any money. I'll go out to one of those places. I'll still give like $40 or $50. So it's almost like I spent what I would have spent, but I'm just drunker.
Right.
Which is fine. I feel like I used to serve. I used to do bartending stuff. Like I feel like you got to give it back.
Yeah.
Ever since I've done that, like I once had a waitress fuck up my order, bring me the complete opposite sandwich, and I still gave her like 18%. Like that's the lowest I go.
18%.
I once had fucking a waiter spill soup on my lap, and I somehow wound up spending more than I would have because my friend, basically, they comped my food. They didn't comp my friend's food. So basically, it was like $10 total, but my friend's like, I don't have cash. And I'm like, well, fuck it. I put down a $20 bill. So I spent more than I would have spent because I got soup on my lap.
Dude, Jesus.
At, what's that? I forget what it's called.
What was it?
Mexican restaurant.
I
I like the place. I'm not going to name it.
Oh.
It's not like some shitty place.
Don't worry. A million people won't see this just yet.
Yeah, well, for all the 8 people listening, if any of them, I think it was Camacho. What's the one on Sunset? Is that El Camacho? No, that used to be the one on Seawalk.
Pink's Tacos, right? Not that.
No. It's a little bit earlier, near the Ralph's, kind of. Fuck, now it's gonna drive me nuts.
Oh, by the Wendy's.
It's a great place. It's like. It's a very like low key like casual date spot too, because it's like very candlelit, but it's also very casual. So like there's like a mariachi band in there, and there'll be like families on one side. But if you have like the right corner of the restaurant, it's all like candlelit and shit, and you have like a booth you can cozy up with somebody.
That's fucking cool.
What the fuck is a campanera? I'm gonna look it up.
Like, there's this one like pho place that I go to. It's the shit, dude. They know exactly what I want every single time. I walk in, they're just like. Like, I just shake my head. They fucking bring me my bowl, dude, my water. I'm like, yeah, that's fucking loyalty right there, dude.
El Compadre, that's the name of the place. Have you ever been there?
No.
Oh, it's great. You should go there. Tequila, mariachi band, soup on your lap, date spot. It's got everything you need. For real. And they have good margaritas. And,
soup on your lap.
They make really good chili Colorado, which is my favorite Mexican food to eat as a white guy. It's like basically chunks of steak and red sauce.
Holy shit, dude. My favorite soup to eat as a white guy. My favorite soup is definitely Vietnamese noodle soup. I love that shit. And the ramen.
Ramen's dope.
Fuck with all of that, dude.
What's your favorite? You eat pho a lot?
Yeah.
What's your favorite like pho pun? Like they all have these cool puns now, right?
Yeah.
Like all the restaurants are named like Pho King or like Pho.
Oh, no. Like a new pho 99 or 9. You know, that's the one that I go to. And it's just like they're like straight up Vietnamese as fuck, like, you know.
Yeah, but like the names of like a lot of, I guess it's a lot of the ones that are opened by people who aren't Vietnamese. They tend some of them get the puns wrong because some people say pho, so half of the restaurants will be named with the pun for pho. So it'll be like, I can't think of a good shitty pho pun. It'll be like 9021 pho. But really, if you say 9021 pho, like that makes no sense. But like,
I think if they got a
fuzz or like like Pho King.
I think if they got a fucking pun in their name, it's probably not good.
I don't know, man. I think if it got a pun in its name and it stays open, that means it's great. Okay. It also has memorability.
The one that I go to though, like this is like all these dudes are fucking in the front, like smoking cigarettes, and then it's like probably in the back doing like Russian roulette and shit, dude. It's like I don't know, you'd see this shit because these motherfuckers like, and they barely talk to you at all, which is great. I love that.
I used to live next to a taco truck where I don't think they spoke any English, but it was like right next to I used to live like north Hollywood, so like you could take 2 steps and be in Sun Valley, which is the only town I've ever seen that had 3 Chuck E. Cheese's.
Wow.
3 Chuck E. Cheese's within 1 square mile. And all the billboards were like in Spanish. But this taco truck was like the best. It was like nobody told them about like inflation. It had like 70s or 80s taco prices. So you go there, it'd be like for like $3, you could get like 5 really big like soft tacos with like they would dump the meat on there, and like a burrito would be like $4, and it was like we were stealing. It was so good, and the line was huge, but they were making it really fast, and it was good. Wish I could name drop it.
There's so many fucking taco trucks in LA. Yeah. Like I don't know, burritos, tacos, bomb, but that food makes you fat as fuck if you eat that shit all the time.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
However, you'll be less hungover if you live next to a taco truck.
I like your point. It just soaks up all the fucking
We
booze.
should crack this open before it gets warm, because I feel like...
And terrible?
Yeah, because I wanted to try one of these weird sodas that you've been talking about, and there was like 5 in your fridge.
Oh, dude, this smells like corn, bro.
Does it? Yeah, we got sweet corn.
Fucking corn,
Sweet corn. Oh my God! It smells like cafeteria cream corn from in like, when you're in like 3rd grade. Are we doing like shots of this? How do we... Full glass? I'll fill you up.
Yeah,
should I just leave the rest in the? Should I drink straight out of the bottle?
Yeah.
All right, I'll drink it straight out of the bottle.
Oh my god.
Did you already taste it?
No, I get like, you know when you smell
It
something?
smells exactly like I thought it would smell like.
It smells like, yeah.
Well, now let me go through the flavors we didn't choose because you let me pick. In there's still bacon, which has like
Bacon?
maple syrup in it, which I think might curb it out to not taste so bad. You have blazing hot buffalo as a soda, which holy shit, no, because like that's like I imagine drinking hot sauce, and you said that you were gonna get the ranch coming
ranch
with
dressing one.
which would be double fisting, but they didn't send you the ranch.
Dude, if you actually enjoy those sodas, you're probably somebody that just likes gross shit.
Like, okay, so this is made by Lester's Fixins. Is that what they're all from?
Yeah.
They're like cane sugar sodas, so like they're what you find like in like a Cracker Barrel. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then the other option, what was there's pickle, which I bet is legit. I bet if enough people gave it a chance, that could be like a flavor of like Fanta.
But is it dill or sweet pickle? You know?
Ooh,
That's the kicker.
ooh. All right, so are we gonna try this?
Cheers, dude.
Cheers. Bottoms up. I am not disappointed in that.
I'm not disappointed
I'm not
either.
grossed out at all. That kind of has like
It's
the
like interesting,
it's like a cream soda.
right?
It's like imagine like
It's like a buttery cream soda.
a buttery cream soda, but the aftertaste is cream soda. But there's like a few seconds on the sip where you taste the corn. We'll try that again.
Dude, who's fucking...
You get the corn, but the aftertaste isn't the corn. Although I kind of wish it was. This is better than I thought.
Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna have to get like a case of this shit. Sweet corn
Oh my
soda.
God, fucking...
Lester Fixins, you know what's up. And he looks like the Six Flags guy from those commercials. Where's his face? I can't even see if it's on the screen or not. Is that him?
You can't really see it. You'd have to show it up,
Have to
like,
show
hold
it
it
up.
up to the camera.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Oh wow.
He does look like...
Lester Fixins. Let's try one more time.
Oh my God, dude.
That's him.
I bet you the buffalo one's
You zoom
disgusting.
in. You zoom in on your phone or something. Do this. You'll see him. He looks like the guy who used to dance to the Venga Bus song.
Dude, those other ones are probably disgusting. I bet you bacon's all right. Pickle juice probably tastes like... Or the,
I bet you pickle is not as sour, but I bet you it has like a kick. I think buffalo is just dangerous.
it's going to be gross. And then Maxie had the pumpkin pie one, which was like, but...
That one sounds like a soda that could be a real soda. So like I feel like she took the safest choice.
No, she did.
I feel like the game is take the weirdest one, and I felt sweet corn.
Dude, mustard takes the cake on fucking all of them. It was so foul. It's like...
Was it like drinking mustard?
It's like, you know when you get the yellow mustard and then you like go to tip it out and it's fucking, like, you get the water that comes out? It's like drinking that fucking water.
I've been trying to figure that out. Like lately, I finally learned to squirt the mustard in the sink before you do it. Like if you have at-home mustard, this will never happen in a restaurant. I don't know how. You always get that
Shake the
weird
shit out of
watery
it.
gush, and it's like looks so gross that I throw away that plate, and I'm like, all right, try again. Then the mustard comes out. So now I just go, which is very boring podcast banter. But I'm excited that I finally learned how to not waste mustard water or how to get rid of the mustard water.
The fucking mustard water. That's what it tasted like, though. It was, dude, as soon as I
Ugh.
opened it up, it was just foul as fuck, dude. Like, if you like that one, for sure, you like to fucking drink gross shit.
Isn't that
man.
like the name of like a Limp Bizkit album, like something hot dog water or something?
What was it?
Sorry.
The chocolate flavored starfish?
Yeah, chocolate flavored starfish and hot dog water?
and hot dog flavored water.
Hot dog flavor, yeah.
The chocolate starfish and hot dog flavored water, which I think is hot. Like, the chocolate starfish is an asshole, and then the hot dog flavored water, I think, is cum.
Really?
I think that's what it is,
my God,
dude.
that makes it even more fun.
I think that's what it is.
Because like that, okay, that probably is what it was. Chocolate starfish, it's butthole, man.
It's a butthole, yeah.
Yeah. That was like Blink 182 used to have all their albums be very overhanded sex puns, like take off your pants and jacket.
And with the fucking, was it the girl?
No, that was a different album.
No, that was
Enema of the State.
Yeah.
I was one of the porn stars. I remember because I was like, I think when that came out, I was like 10 or 11, and I was at camp, and I didn't know what an enema was, and I didn't know what the album was implying. So I was like, hey, Mom, can you send me this album? Because it didn't have a parental,
"Oh my
parental
God."
advisory sticker. It just had literally a nurse about to stick her hand up somebody's ass, and it was called Enema of the State. And she said, "No, I cannot send you this album."
Like, what?
I mean, I got it anyway. Like next time I was at a store, but we used to, parental advisory stickers. Some of the albums you could peel it off, and some of them it was on like the booklet. But I don't even know why we even gave a shit. Like only like 1 out of every 12 albums I bought, my mom would even care enough to look at it.
That's all like
let
fucking...
alone listen. She wasn't one of those moms who's like, "What are you listening to?" Just put it on headphones.
The fucking FCC and like Tipper Gore and all that shit, dude. Like, they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that's why you're censoring art, because it's dangerous. Like, there was a thing.
Was it
you know
almost
that
like
band, you know that band Judas Priest, the old like fucking heavy metal band? So there was a thing.
You really do know Judas Priest. Are you a human on Earth who listens to music? Do you know that band Judas Priest? I thought you were going to say somebody obscure.
So there was a thing that happened up in Reno where these two kids, they like shot each other or some shit, and fucking the parents wanted to blame Judas Priest on it because they were like, they found the album and it's like, get the gun, get the gun.
Was this in the 80s?
Yeah, something like that.
Because there's always somebody, like, they blame Marilyn Manson.
Marilyn Manson. They actually, after Columbine, he was supposed to play a show up in Reno, and they fucking banded together and stopped it. Like, that's so fucking ridiculous. Unless he was there, you know? They're like, no, it's the same look. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. He's not promoting that. He's weird.
He's too busy, like, being a weird dude.
Yeah.
Like, his music videos, like, scared me, which is what they were going for. Because it was, like, crazy eyes and, like, dolls. And, like,
lip retractors
and, like, what,
shit.
And he's like, yeah, and he has, like, his face is all painted up, and he's like, for some reason, for like 5 years, he had boobs, like legit boobs. And then apparently, I don't remember, I never looked into it, but somebody said he kept them for so long because it hurt so much going in, he didn't want to take them back out.
What the fuck? I don't
fucking know what. That's
and then what?
heard.
The two, like I heard the whole like he removed ribs so he could.
Yeah, he has all these legends, and then they say
fucking like horrible that would feel just so you could give yourself head. Like,
and also like if he did that, we would have been able to see it in at least one music video. Like, well, you know,
he's like, watch this yoga pose.
And then they also said that he was a bunch of different like TV characters growing up, like Paul from Wonder Years. They said it was him. And there was another one. There was like all these like Snopes legends of Marilyn Manson. It was just like it was great, and he's a great musician. Like
totally
if you ever see him in concert, it's very fun. Even if you don't like really like his music, he puts on a show. Although lately he's been getting older, so he's been like collapsing and stuff, hasn't he?
What?
I think like a couple months ago he just like collapsed on stage because he doesn't have the energy, or like broke his ankle and still tried to do a show.
What, 50 and doing blow and shit?
Yeah,
still?
I mean,
come on,
he's
man.
living on a diet of just like cereal, blow, and
cereal.
I imagine that. I mean, fucking
not even with milk.
If I was
just
a famous
fucking
I'd just be doing like lines of coke off of my Apple Jacks.
he just opens his mouth and throws them in his face. Dude.
That's how I picture musicians.
It sparks up a cigarette, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. Like his videos were always fascinating as shit to me. Mm-hmm. Like it was like scary kind of, but they were just like I couldn't stop watching them because I was just like so fucking fascinated by it.
Well, it's an art form that's very much lost on today's youth. Not to sound like some like buddy preaching about being in the past, like the music videos, and even before like we were really young. The 80s had some really creative music videos, but the 90s was kind of like I think the peak where every music video wasn't just a music video. They would spend like a week or two filming them. They'd be telling a story. It wouldn't just be like the band playing on stage live, cut between like behind the scenes footage, although some people did that. It would be like its own self-contained story. Sometimes there would even be dialogue and they would interrupt the music video. I remember like at one point there was like to be continued at the end of some of the videos. Like I think like some of the boy bands are doing that. I know Limp Bizkit and Method Man had that one song where it was about like somehow it said to be continued and then they wind up in like purgatory, or maybe that was the continued part.
They're like
it ends with
around.
like they're guitarists or they were getting arrested, and all of a sudden Fred Durst is just in purgatory with Method Man. And I was like, even though I don't understand what's happening, they're trying their asses off, you know?
You ever like hear a song on the radio and you're like, this song's dope, and then you see like the fucking music video and you see the band, you're like, yee.
Yeah, because these days we don't see the video anymore. Like back then, everybody knew what everybody looked like because you would see them like on like TRL or like a lot of MTV focused on just bringing the bands up. Now it's like they still do the music videos, but they're mostly for online. And I'm not going online searching for music videos, but you know who does that is fucking CJ Kelly. We were hanging out at his place the other day, and he was just it was late at night, so he just keeps playing different music videos of like his favorite rappers and stuff, which is cool because like that means people are still watching the music videos. But I was like, oh, okay, like so people still watch the music. They all have like 15 or 16 million hits. But I imagine the videos back then had more people seeing them just because they were plastered on TV.
That makes a lot of sense. I actually like I kind of remember being a little kid and like watching like the MTV Headbangers Ball and shit. Like, dude, I was always into fucking like the rock and roll shit, dude. I loved all that stuff.
I liked like watching pop-up video on VH1.
That was dope too.
Because like
facts and
yeah,
stuff.
I could watch that for bands I don't even give a shit about. And it was like
and they would talk shit about them though too.
Yeah,
dude.
then they would do like a special where they just said like the 10 most expensive videos of like 1998, and then they would just have the budget showing up as it goes, and it's like Britney Spears latex suit, like $60,000, Doves, and like Pilot, who they fired because they didn't even do the plane stunt, $200,000. Like, whoa,
dude, that's so much. And like, you don't make money off of. I mean, you pretty
I
much
think
just
back then
spend
you
money.
did.
You know?
I think back then the music videos you did make money off them because kids would see it, they would buy the albums. I feel like now the music videos have
What
such
do
a
you mean,
high.
like 70s to like 90s?
I'm
type
talking
thing?
like 80s into the end of the 90s, early 2000s. I think that was like when you would really see a music video and it would make you go buy the music, especially to impressionable kids. TRL had that fan base of like 10 to like probably 25-year-olds just watching around, seeing what the top 10 videos were, going to buy those albums. I feel like they still have that show today, but I don't think anybody watches
It probably fucking blows, dude.
What I liked about it was they wouldn't play the whole video. Sometimes they would, all right, this has been on the week, 30 weeks in a row, so here's like a minute of it. Then they would come back and do other stuff. And if it was a brand new video.
I don't know. Who's voting for that shit?
Well, it was rigged. Basically, from what I know about TRL back in the early 90s was they would do votes on Friday and Monday only, and the rest of the week they like made it up. So this was revealed because Tom Green had a video for the Bum song.
The Bum, my bum is on the
yeah,
man.
my bum. Yeah, so he debuts that on TRL, and it made people laugh so much because that wasn't Tom Green, he was a big MTV star. So he got voted into the #1 spot on Monday, but they had already done the fake ratings and done all the segments for the rest of the week. So his video wasn't going to be there because they didn't expect that. So they made him retire the video one day after it aired on Tuesday because they didn't have the countdown configured correctly for their fake voting. So he retires it on Tuesday. He says, I have to retire the video. They made him do that. And then it was gone because the Tuesday through Thursday was already decided.
It's like such a monopoly.
Yeah.
You know, for sure. Like, that's one of those things that's just kind of, it's like these people are more made now than they are like, you know, like you hear like Led Zeppelin, like, oh, when we were starting out, we were traveling in a fucking U-Haul, sleeping in the back, you know? Fucking didn't shower for 3 days straight.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, like all like the bands have a better cool history today. Like some of like these like bands that are just basically given everything and like flown on private jets right to the gig. Back then, you used to take like a big tour bus and go on adventures, and like you'd be doing drugs and stuff, and getting in trouble in every town, and your manager would have to like get you out of jail and shit.
So my dad's band has like a documentary about them. And they've gone on tour with like Motorhead a couple of times, and like the very first time when they were going on tour with Motorhead, they were like, Lemmy was talking. He's like, yeah, so we show up and we got like, you know, suitcase full of fucking vodka and drugs, and then these guys show up and they bring in like boxes of tea. Yeah, dude. People were fucking surprised about that shit because I don't know. My dad's not really like much of a partier like that. Like now when he goes back, like after he's done playing a show, he'll go backstage and just wants to be fucking backstage with like nobody.
Yeah.
I was like sitting next to him. He's like, look, we got this fucking opener. And then he brings all these stupid, slutty fucking groupies back here. And they just want to drink all of my beer and eat all of my food. It's like, huh.
I feel like at a certain point in time, you're just over it. Like, even if you're like the biggest rock star, even if like you've been living that lifestyle for a while, I feel like at a certain point, especially if you were never like that crazy in the middle of it, you're just like, all right, definitely want my space. But I feel like even like the Ozzy Osbournes these days, I feel like he doesn't go backstage and do anything crazy. I feel like he still performs. Like, he's what, like 80 now?
Dude.
I had a friend, saw him Ozfest a couple weeks ago, said he was just as good as ever, but in between songs, he's always been incoherent, but it would seem like it was like worse than ever. So he's like, oh, but then they said the second he stepped into a song, it was like he like woke up and just like robotically almost just like nailed it, killed it, and then he went back to just rambling about nothing.
Those like fucking Mick Jagger though too. You see him fucking just like dancing on stage, killing it, dude. I think he's like 75 and just had a baby with a fucking like 25-year-old or some shit.
Yeah, but I feel like at that point, like, you know, you want to be done when you're done. I also feel like same with a lot of comics. Like, I feel like if you go on the road, like somebody's been doing this for a while and you want to go have fun because you're younger, they don't want to do that. They're like, been there, done that. Some of them will still go party, but a lot of them are like, I just have to go call my wife and go to bed and you're my ride, so drive me, you know? So it's like, oh, I want to fuck the groupies and do a suitcase of cocaine.
And like, oh man. But I guess that's where like the whole serious factor comes in though too, you know? You don't want to be like a fucking drunk mess, like all the time. You want to like
you have to find a balance.
Like go out, maybe go to Mexico or some shit and just fucking forget everything for a week and then come back to, you know?
But I feel like sometimes when you're doing a monotonous like thing, like when you're on the road for a long time with the same people, I feel like to really have fun, you have to go on like adventures and like make things happen so you have stories. Not only
to write about and shit.
Well, not only to do on stage or to write about, but just to like, you know, feel like you're living even though you're just basically working, like going like hotel to hotel.
Right.
You don't want to do that every night, but like you want to be able to like have such a fun time that you'll go back out with those people, you know? So like if you go out with a couple of comics and you blend well on stage, that means nothing. But at the end of the day, like it's just really boring for everybody, like in the car or like, you know, after shows. You don't want to be irresponsible where like you're making the headliner wait for you to like bang somebody in like another, you know, town.
Yeah.
Unless that's what they want. Like they want you to like find you something.
They're like, dude, good job, man.
Yeah, no, but like there's a balance because you want to be fun to be around, but you don't want to like push any boundaries. So it's like you got to be like as high up as you can get on the level, but you also got to see what they want. So I don't fucking know. I feel like when I bring people on the road, which doesn't happen too often, like when I'm the headliner of a show, which is like every like once in a while, I'll just bring a couple friends and like I'm crazy and reckless. I want to go do crazy stuff. There's usually like one or two nighters like up north a few hours or like, you know, south
like
or
Ventura?
Vegas. No, past Ventura, more like Fresno, San Francisco, or what else is along the way? San Miguel, just random places for like a one or two night engagement. And then they let me I'll bring a couple of my friends, but like if you go out with me, like I want to do all that partying and shit, I'm not gonna be a dick about it. Like if there's nothing happening, we'll go back to the hotel.
As long as you hold
like,
your shit together.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you hold your shit together and fucking everything still flows. There was a thing where did I like read it or hear it when like Amy Winehouse was doing her little fucking, she was just all junked up on fucking heroin.
Which is like her whole career.
Yeah,
or was it?
Her parents would pay somebody to fucking get her from wherever the fuck she was onto the plane to where she had to go next. Like that's fucked up.
I feel like that's not fucked up. I feel like that happens all the time. That was the whole plot of that Jonah Hill, Russell Brand movie, Get Him to the Greek, was it not?
Yeah, that's
But
true.
I feel like that's based on reality of a lot of these big stars that go on benders and drink a lot. I feel like there's a person behind the scenes you rarely see. They're usually called the manager. Sometimes they actually are managing, but sometimes they're literally managing that person.
That's that one
and
person.
And usually they have to reschedule the flights because like somebody got stuck somewhere or like they can't wake up or had to get somebody to wake up with some drugs, like in the movie Flight with Denzel Washington, when John Goodman has to come in and give him.
Oh my!
Have you seen that movie?
I have not.
I feel like that's a real thing that happens with some of these big rock stars. Like he has to go to the trial because he for when he was drunk and he crashed a plane and he's trying to be sober, but the next door room is open to a whole full open minibar fridge, and he walks in there and he relapses and he drinks all the drinks. So they're going to the big trial, and it's not for him. They don't give a shit what happens to him, but the airline is going to lose a lot of money if he doesn't testify. So the fucking airline pays for John Goodman in like the most John Goodmanist role ever to just show up with a fucking briefcase of coke.
Jesus.
And he gives it. It's a great scene in a pretty good movie, but not that good of a movie. And I love that scene because it's like I feel like that's what happens with musicians, rock stars. Like when you really need, when your company, like when your record label needs somebody to be somewhere, no matter what happens, they have like some dirty deals on the inside to get them back. Like they have, the record label gets a coke guy for like, you know, fucking, I don't know, let's say like
Ray Donovan type shit, right? Like fucking, oh man, we got a problem.
like a fixer. Like how all the movies back in like the 30s and 40s had like a fixer, like a mafia kind of like.
There was a Slash used to have somebody that would fucking do that. Like follow him around and he'd pass out in alleyways and the guy would fucking just pick him up, put him in the limo, and then they'd fucking get him home.
Yeah.
That's crazy. To drink yourself like that fucking, you know.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's fucking sadness. It's a mix of like happy partying and like a lot of like, what the fuck is this? I feel like when you do it for so long, it's just going in a circle
nobody
over and
says
over.
no to me.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like that's why musicians drink and do so many drugs. They're just like, that's why they overdose so much. I feel like they just feel like they're stuck in a big loop and it's over and over and over. There's no getting out of it. And then they just.
That was the thing about fucking Jimi Hendrix. Like, people were saying he was scared that he was like going to be the best he was ever going to be at that age. That's probably all the acid he took.
I feel like that's also not just drugs. That's the critics coming in. Like, I feel like at a certain point, like, you're trying to break through and make something new, but the critics keep slamming you saying he wasn't as good as this album. Every musical artist has, like, this album. Or like, it was no blank. It was better than this, but it wasn't. And it's usually, like, their fucking second or third album. Sometimes it's even their first. And that's what the critics go on it. But at the same time, like, they're probably more talented now, but, like, the originality and the passion was put into that one album. So like, even though I think they're on the same. Although sometimes people make shitty albums,
right?
But I feel usually like the second or first album somebody records has this thing that you'll never really see again. It's like almost like
what's the debut though? You know?
Yeah, it's like this energy, like this energy harnessed in the right way. Then later on, it's just that's like
I bet you it could probably be when like it's like their debut album before like they actually like hit the fame, you know, and then it's like there's too many fucking like hands and ideas trying to tell you what
too many cooks in the kitchen.
you know. You're like, fuck, man, leave me alone. But then you see some of these artists that like go off on their own and they're like, this is like my own representation of who I am. I had to do this by myself, and you like listen to it or watch it and you're like, this shit's trash, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So well, it's 50-50. Sometimes they go off on their own, and then I fucking like. There was a lot of like Beatle albums where they're like, all right, we're releasing the same album without all the mixing because we don't like the guy who mixed it. And I'm like, half of those were better with the mixing. Like the stripped down Beatles, sure, you have to say it's better just because like if you're like a fan of any music, even if you don't like the Beatles. But at the same time, it's like you stripped out a couple things that were good. I don't know. But
that's interesting.
They did that though. Like they released all their albums without like one of the producers' input. And I'm like, but it sounded almost the exact same.
What the fuck, dude? That's ridiculous, man. Jesus, I'm fucking zoning out. We're at 45 minutes right now. Where's your park? You're parked on the street?
I'm parked on the one across like the 4 o'clock gridlock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Where do you live around here?
I live Universal City, so I live right at Toluca Hills.
That's
right next to Universal, which is where I work. So
fucking just walk to work?
I know, because I fucking walk people around all day at work, so I just drive to work. I mean, same thing. I used to work at a restaurant. And I lived next to the restaurant. When I left to live next to the comedy store, I lived next to the restaurant I worked at. And my parents were like, why don't you walk to work? I'm like, because I literally clock it 11 miles every time I work, like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
11
If I was going to sit at a desk, I'd fucking walk to work, you know? I would love to do that shit. But at Universal, usually I walk people around the studio or inside the park. So like if I'm going to be walking all back and forth.
Dude, in the fucking restaurant, I'll walk like fucking 10 miles
and
not go anywhere,
exactly.
Dude.
Literally just back to get ranch, then back, and then go get another ranch. It's like a mile. It's like...
You hear that whole fucking, the whole like straw debate fucking thing?
Oh, that's it. That like, well, I just came from Starbucks and they had plastic straws. So thank you. I like plastic straws. I know it's bad for the environment, but fuck it, because I hate wooden straws.
Well, it's also like people don't want to fucking have that shit touch their teeth. Some people got sensitive
Especially
teeth.
the cups. Yeah.
And coffee fucking stain your
Ice.
teeth too.
Starbucks made like a lid where it's like drinking like a slushy or a frap through the lid with no straw, but it wasn't fun. It takes the most cool part about drinking like a drink from Starbucks like that is this going through the straw. So anyways, then they say bring your own straw. And I used to like
Bring your own straw.
California drought laws. I don't know if they still have those. We used to all bring waters to the table before because usually 90% of the time they fucking ask for water anyway. But like legally you're not supposed to until they ask for it. But if you're slammed with like 6 tables, it's easier to just dump the waters down and be like, I'll be right back.
Fuck it, get them.
As opposed to like, all right, let me get your order, and then like, yeah, can I have a water? Then, oh, who else wants a water? Then they all raise their hand anyway. You bring 2 waters, and then
it's like such fucking bullshit that it's like extra steps. Like, so the Santa Monica restaurant, fucking, they have the straws in the wrappers now, you know. So it's like, oh, you got rid of the straws, but now you got the extra fucking straw wrapper. So like, there you go. You fucking just kind of like lost that battle. Stupid.
Also, if you have the wooden straw, it's like drinking out of the toilet paper roll. And not even when you fully get all the water in there, it never corrects itself. So it's the whole time, it makes your lips chap. So they're actually doing studies that like it makes your lips chap because they're drier and it's just like, I don't know.
I've never had the fucking paper straw.
We'll do. I mean, I don't want to say fuck the environment, but like, I mean, I like plastic straws. And then there's like somebody who invented a straw that you can like put in your pocket, like a toothbrush that folds up and you unveil it and it's made out of metal. And I'm like, that's an extra step I don't need. I don't need to leave my house and be like, all right, I got my phone, I got my keys, and I got my straw. In case I decided to stop at a restaurant I didn't even know I was going to. No, nobody, like, usually when I go to a restaurant for lunch, it's like a surprise. I'm like, oh, fuck, it's lunchtime, I should go eat. Or, oh, you want to meet up and eat. I'm not like prepared, you know. But
also, like, they take when they take the glasses out from the fucking dish room, then they put the glasses upside down on those fucking mats, and then you're supposed to put your fucking lips on that shit?
And usually there's like lipstick doesn't come off even in the fucking... I've had so many cups at restaurants brought back because like lipstick survives the dishwashing. It's like... And it's gross.
It's gross.
It's like gross.
Fuck,
like, hey, somebody else's lips were on this. I'm like, oh, let me see. Yep.
And
or like, I hate the people that like, I would never drop a glass that was broken. But like sometimes like people would like move it or something and then the glass would shatter. And then you'd have to quickly get it out of there before there's like a lawsuit.
Right. Dude. Oh my God. I have this fucking thing about like, sometimes the cups come out dirty as shit. I'm like, dude, if you've ever wanted to try all the flavors of cheesecake all at the same time, just drink this water.
Do you work at a Cheesecake Factory?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Is it too hot in the summer and they still make you wear like the button downs?
Yeah, like a fucking white shirt. It's fine with me. It doesn't bother me too much. The thing is that their whole thing, it turns into such a machine that just, it's everybody just scrambling for fucking money that it's gross, actually. It's like, then you start ending up like treating people like numbers, dude. And people don't like that shit,
yeah. Well, I mean, it's...
Like, I make better tips, so if I like make $1,200 in sales, sometimes I make like better tips if I have like $700 in sales, right? And I'll make more than I would if I sell fucking $1,200.
It's really, yeah. I mean, it's...
because you get to actually treat people like fucking people instead of like, okay, hi, what would you like? Bread, butter, water? Okay, go, boom. Fucking, and they have like, they break it all down in like these time schematics, And yeah, it looks great on paper, but fucking real life, dude, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. I mean, especially when everybody like sits at the exact same time or like,
Dude, my favorite thing ever is when people like wave me down. They're like, okay, we're ready. And then they open the menu. They're like, so, what's good
that happens
here?
all the time. Nobody that works at a restaurant has not seen that at least like 100 times a day because, they're never ready. Like when they wave you down, they're not ready.
No, never.
And that's why, like, when people are waving, I used to just pretend to not see them because they'll be less mad at you if you make eye contact and you say, "I'll be right there." I learned they'll be more mad at you if you say that and you're not there within a second than if you just don't see them. But I mean, if you're there quick enough, like they'll forget it as long as everything comes out. Like basically, as long as they get what they need. We used to have I used to work at a restaurant where when like some of our bosses would come in, we had to make sure the water was like super full. So like we'd be like diving, even if they didn't need it, if their water was empty and they said no, you'd have to fill it up just to make it look nice in case somebody saw. So I'd be like diving over tables like,
what the fuck though? Oh my god. Or you have like people that ask you for like a fucking refill, and it's like you have like fucking.
My favorite. I once had a guy, and this is ridiculous. It was like a table of 12, and this guy says, "Yo, I'm gonna need 7 Dr. Peppers." And I'm like, "So you want to refill them?" He's like, "I want them all now." And I'm like, "Okay." And like usually when somebody says that, they're trying to cheat you and pass it around to the table. But I watched this guy literally drink 7 Dr. Peppers in like 5 minutes.
Just fucking
and like that table
with no ice.
Yeah, and didn't really tip much for somebody who got 7 Dr. Peppers. I was like, okay,
dude, that's the worst. Is when you're like busting your ass and then people write a big fat zero on like $150 fucking check. I'm like, Jesus, come on, man. Like, I'm not trying to fucking expect you to pay me a fucking $100, but dude, like, squeeze blood out of a fucking turnip. And you just, me.
I mean, I've had tables, there's like certain like needs that need something like every second. I had a table once, while I was still taking the order, somebody at the end of the table was like, "Where's the food?" I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
While you're taking the
order? While I'm taking their order was taking so long because they all didn't know what they want. There was like 15 people. So like I'm going around the table, and then the guy who ordered first is like, where is the food? And I'm like, "Where is the food? Like, have you seen me leave the room? The rest of your group is still ordering the food." I'm like, that is God, not only that's rude to the people you came with.
But see, the thing is though too.
Like, did you want me to go put in yours first so it comes out because you're at the head of the table? You're like the patriarch. You're gonna eat and test it for poison.
I can just tell when people are trying to fucking scam, though, And then the managers pretty much just go up and they're just like, "Oh, okay, fine, fuck it. I'll take this and this off the fucking tab, and then here's a free cheesecake." And like, what the fuck?
Yeah, people do that even if you give them like the best service that was their plan all along. Or there'll be like a fly that magically pops up somewhere it wasn't. Mm-hmm. Like they're just bringing flies with them. Or like a hair that's the color of their hair. Like literally, we had a kitchen staff, all brown hair, and there's a big long blonde hair in a dish, and the woman's like, "Hey, we found this," and I'm like, "Can you look around this restaurant?" And we had an open kitchen, so you could see the cooks and you could see all the staff. And that day it was like 6 dudes, short brown hair, all wearing hats, and like one girl with black hair were working. And I'm like, I wanted to be like, "Can you look around and tell me where you think that hair fucking came from?"
It was hers.
But you can't. Yeah, it was clearly hers. And it wasn't even a scam. It was like somebody like eating like this and her own hair falls in it. And we still have to bring it back. Dude. And I bring it to the manager. He's like, "Well, yeah, that's her hair." I'm like, "I know. Do you want to go tell her?" Because and then we comped it. I'm like, "Fucking A, man." Like there's some battles that are gonna like literally if that wasn't comp, that tip would have been like 0. But it was like $25. So it's like you gotta pick your battles.
Right.
Because like she could blow up and leave like a Yelp review and like there's no context for like the owners to look at that,
That's very true.
You're playing with fire now that there's Yelp. Because like
It's just
people take all the power into their own hands. They're like, there was a hair in my food.
And everybody's like, oh, I'm not going to go there. And the customer's always right. So fucking, even if they're 100% wrong, they're always right. That's the fucking business strategy I hate, dude.
Well, you know what I really hate? When they just don't like something and it's their own fault. Do you ever had that at Cheesecake Factory? Mm-hmm. Like, I can understand if you're like, what do you recommend? And I say, how about this? And then you eat it and you don't like it. That's kind of on me. It's a little bit on you because you can still see it. But when somebody decides for their own what they want to eat, like, I'm going to get this. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, take a bite. They're like, I don't like it. Can I get something else? I'm like, well, you did that. You should pay for it because you did that. That is a you problem.
Yeah. No shit.
Fucking, that one used to piss me off the most. God, and then I had to go try to get something sped up because the whole restaurant's full, and I had to be like, "Hey, can you get yelled at in Spanish by the cooks?"
I love that one.
Well, you have to, like,
they're like, "Yeah, we sold it. It's on the table." No, it's not, dude. I was just there. And then you got to deal with their like shitty attitudes.
Pinche puta, motherfucker. I'm like, no.
Come on, man. I'm on the fucking other side of the fucking.
Or you get like yelled at when you put it in right and they just didn't make it right. They're like, fuck it. You did this.
That's the best one, dude.
Everyone, I'd say half the times it was something the customer did or something I did, but then half the times it was just, I didn't see the no cheese. And I'm like, yeah, she's allergic, so you might want to speed one up. Start throwing things.
Yeah.
They fucking pretty much nail it in the movie Waiting. They do a pretty good job.
I like that movie.
Yeah, great movie.
That movie's fucking awesome, dude. When they're like fucking pubes and fucking, oh God, dude. And that's true. Don't fuck with the people that are handling your food.
It's true, but at this point in time, it's like so like because of all these like lawsuits, like I wouldn't even dare do anything to anybody's food. You know, the only thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna be less attentive to a table.
Exactly.
Like I'm not gonna like. I feel like back then you could. I feel like you could still like fart near a table. That's the one thing you can still do, and like nobody's gonna be like. Nobody's gonna have a lawsuit like the waiter had gas. How do you know it's the waiter? That would not hold up in a court of law.
How do you know what's in the guy's garlic dish right next to you?
Yeah. That's the only thing you can like illegally do. You definitely can't spit in anything. You can't fuck with anything. Like I feel like even if a person you never know.
That's like karma though.
Who's just having a bad day? You never know if like a really nice person just like got some really bad news and they're stressed out. So like why would you fucking spit in somebody's hamburger just because they were having a bad day? You never know what people are going through.
That's very true.
I always try to be nice if I'm having a bad day to strangers, but you never know.
You ever feel like it's like you ever feel like working at the restaurant helped you with stand up, like just communicating with people, or like vice versa, like stand up helped you communicate with people, you know?
Maybe. I mean, it's just basically like you have to be fake in a restaurant a lot of times. So you can be having like the worst day of your life, and you have to be like, "Hey, what can I get you to drink? Mike, I'm gonna be taking care of you. Here's the specials today. Here's what we're working on. Here's what I recommend." And you have to smile through gritted teeth. They say, "What do you recommend?" And I name my 4 favorite things, and they don't order any of it. I have to be like, "Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know why you asked me, but yeah, go with the spaghetti that we don't even have." Like, you know. And then I feel like it's more just like smiling and being fake. But the problem is if you're like that all day and then you go to like a club, I don't have enough energy to like go be fake to people, you know. So like sometimes like I walk around like looking like angry when I'm not angry. I'm just tired. Because I'm even today, my job, customer service style, like I'm walking people around, I'm giving tourists all day and just smiling and happy. So even if that ends, I feel like it doesn't carry over as much into the night as I would like it to. I feel like if anything, it's worse. I also feel like it does make you better at selling bullshit, though, which is sometimes what you have to do networking wise.
There's like one thing that I do kind of, it's like when I talk, I use like a lot of hand gestures, you know? And I think it kind of like fucks with people. It's like that whole like Star Wars, like, these are not the droids you were looking for. But I do like all the presidents, you know, fucking Trump does his thing, but like the best one ever was Obama's, dude. And he does this thing when he's like talking where he goes like this, dude, where he's just beating you in thumb war and you can't do anything but enjoy it, you know?
Well, that fucking what Bush used to do, it always looked like he was like ringing it on Jeopardy. Like George W. Bush.
That's fucking
like he would
funny,
just be up there like, I don't.
I like that.
He did the same thing, but he would like push down.
The hand gestures are the best, dude. For sure.
Well, I feel like you also have restaurant material, which is like really corny dad style jokes that will get like a chuckle out of them, but like it's safe things to say versus like there are some days where I didn't give a shit and I would just say whatever, and some of those days paid off, but sometimes like people get offended and the whole time they're just staring at you. There's a lot of like you have to say like the dumb shit like, "Oh, you must have hated it." Take away like the empty plate. You have to say like corny shit like that. The classic corny shit. Just because the table's almost, you could tell when people expect dumb shit like that. and they want it. So you have to sell your soul a little bit.
I will say some ridiculous shit sometimes. I'm like, people are like, okay, what do you recommend? I'm like, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna get all the steaks, all the bottles of wine, and you're gonna tip me 300%. And they're like, what? I can't believe you just said that. And then I get a good tip because they were like, dude, he was confident enough to fucking say that.
I think the most tips I ever made was the day I accidentally took ecstasy and went to work.
Accidentally took ecstasy?
Well, here, my fucking...
It just fell out of the sky and you were just like...
my pill stuff next to my sink is like a whole bunch of bottles, and if I'm tired, like the worst day, I once accidentally took a handful of Tylenol PM and went to work because it was next to like Dayquil AM.
Fuck.
So I was working like literally like in a coma the whole day. I walked in, I knew what happened the second I got in my car, and I took like 10 shots of espresso. It still didn't do anything. But then one day I had ecstasy there, and I meant to take an Adderall because I take an Adderall every morning for my ADD. So I was so tired, I reached for the Adderall, and I just popped it in. And then as soon as I swallowed the water, I realized it was ecstasy. And I was smiling, not fake, the whole day. So the whole day I'm just like walking around like this. I'm like hugging.
Were your eyes fucking...
I'm like hugging my towel. The eyes weren't like wide like that. They were just like normal. And I think I must have made $400 tips on like 800 sales that day. So like... I almost thought about doing it again on purpose.
Fuck you.
It was like it was just like a magical day where everything really just kind of clicked into place, and I think I was in a naturally good mood, so it rubbed off, and like I think maybe because I was a little bit out of it, I wasn't as over attentive. Sometimes if you're too attentive, like if you have nothing to do and you're bored, you're like, let me fill that up for you. You're like too in their face.
Yeah,
I hate that when I go to restaurants. I try to find the balance where you're like there, where you're there enough when they need you, but you're not like anything else. Because like we're fucking dead right now. And know what's going on in the back, but there's people are fighting, so I'm gonna hang out with you guys now.
Dude, anywhere I go though, I fucking hate that shit when people are just like, "Hi, can I help you? How can I help you?" I'm like, "Yeah, by not fucking bothering me." You know, like Guitar Center or some shit, or even like, dude, the only thing people at Home Depot are good for is just knowing where the stuff is. Dude. I don't want to know how you would do it because
well, they never fucking help when you need it. Like, if you ever go to like a Rite Aid or a CVS, they don't fucking help. Like, those aisles are different than most aisles. Aisles at the supermarket, it's very clear cut. Mm-hmm. Aisles at a CVS, it's like school notebooks next to like fucking lawnmowers. I'm like, okay, so I have to go on a mission to find what I need.
Stationary next to unstationary.
The other day, I just needed baking soda, which should have been easy to find. It was just in an aisle with just pita chips. I'm like, okay,
what the fuck?
Like, okay,
that's totally true because it's just a fucking mixture of shit, right? Next to pita chips.
Because they don't have enough to make a full aisle of certain stuff. So like it was like cooking supplies and pita chips. In case you're gonna go make some pita souffle.
Oh my god! And doesn't like Walgreens? They don't sell fucking alcohol or something.
I think
actually no. They sell alcohol. What's the thing? It's like CVS. They sell alcohol, but they don't sell cigarettes or some weird shit.
Maybe that might be true.
I think that's.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody buy cigarettes at CVS, but I don't smoke, so I've never ran into it. I
only smoke, dude, if I'm like fucking wasted. But I smoke like the fucking black American spirits, you know? It's like the roughest ones. So you just smoke like a little tiny fucking bit of it, put it out, and fucking, I just pass out. Just get a nice little head rush, and that's it.
Yeah, that's not too bad. I used to, like, I once, like, tried to smoke. Like, I was, like, stressed out, like, working on, like, a lot of projects in college. I was like, oh, maybe this will help. So, like, I bought like, a pack, and I was like, and it just didn't stick, which is probably a good thing.
You ever tried chewing tobacco?
No.
Dude, I was like 13. The first time I tried chewing tobacco was the very first time I ever smoked weed, too. And, dude, my brother gave me some of that fucking, like, shitty skull, and you just feel it go right in your lip and just cut the fuck out of your lip. But then I couldn't even stand up, dude. Just got such a buzz from that. And that was the very first day that I hit a bong, too. So my brother like hands me the bong. He's like, exhale. And I knew that was not what you needed to do, you know, but I just wanted to see what happens if you blew into the bong. So then I shot fucking water out, dude, and it landed fucking right on him, and he smelled like dirty, raunchy bong water.
The fucking ice in the bong is so much more clutch than I used to realize. Like when we were kids, like I'll get all that shit like trapped. So much smoke, and I'd be like coughing for a long time. But if you put the ice in there, or if the person who sets it up does the ice just right, it just cools that off.
That's very
like
true.
When I was like 16 smoking, it was like I'm good. I do this all the time. Just bad at inhaling.
I've done like weird shit like using Gatorade to replace the fucking water.
I can see that. It's interesting.
It's
does it work? I mean, what does it do?
It's liquid, you know.
It's like when your fucking like sink isn't working or something, or like because you're in this setup here.
It filters out the smoke and everything. It was red Gatorade.
Red Gatorade is the best Gatorade. There should be no other Gatorade ever. They just get rid of all the other ones except for red.
You think so?
I think red is the ultimate Gatorade.
Wow. I'm more of like a cool blue kind of.
Blue raspberry, like all those glacier flavors, they always sound so cool, like Riptide Rush. They just sound like fucking deodorant flavors. Like, I used to try
like Tom's. It's like Tom's fucking Riptide Rush, dude.
Yeah, seriously, that was what they call it, glacial freeze.
The best thing that you do with a Gatorade is you fucking put it in the freezer and then like catch it right before it freezes, and then it's like fucking snow cone slushy, dog.
That's good.
Best shit ever. I don't know. Gatorade fucking kind of gives me like fucking upset stomach and shit.
I think it's so much sugar.
It's
like it'll restore electrolytes, but it's like so bad for you. So like I still drink it all the time. It's great for like when you're like hungover or something, but it's like really sugar. It's more sugar than soda.
Isn't it? It's got like a bunch of sodium and shit in it too.
Yeah,
bunch of like salt. Fucking weird. You got any shows coming up, Mike?
I think the plug probably not. I mean, I'm at a few places this week, but January 21st at the Ha-Ha's New York Comedy Hour show. That's free if anybody comes in and says the name Mike, that they're here to see Mike before 8:30. I'll get them in free. That's my show. I'll plug that. Other than that, I'll be probably at like a couple bars and probably the Ha-Ha, maybe the store in the Belly Room for the next couple weeks. Just sporadic. Trying to do like 2 or 3 a week.
How do I get into the store, Mike?
I don't know. Maybe you go through the potluck. That's how you get in at the store, like officially.
Really?
You go to the potluck enough where they recognize you, and then you get seen by the right person, and then they'll give you like promotional like or what are the workout spots. So like those comics who do like 5 minutes in front of like the indie shows. It's clicky over there. So it's like just showing face and getting up enough to the point where like somebody sees you and kind of passes you through. Then you can do like 5 minutes when you call it in. Usually winds up being like once a week, but they'll put you up on all the friends and family. And then eventually, if you're doing that well, they'll give you an opportunity to audition. Where you do like 10 or 15 in the OR one night with like 5 other people. They usually pass 1 or 2, get their name on the wall, pass past them. I fucked up because I did a set once in front of Pauly Shore, and he wanted to actually like pass me straight through. But that was back when they had Tommy as the guy, and I feel like if I did it that way, Tommy would never put me on anything. So
what do you mean?
He basically saw me doing a set, and he walks me around, and he's like, "Hey, got to pass through this guy. Put this guy." So basically, I got to the point where like I skipped over the potluck stuff, and they're like, "Just call in your availabilities, and you'll be in the rotation now." But I felt like everybody there was gonna hate me, so I didn't like capitalize
because you just kind of jumped in it like
that.
that.
But now I realized that was a fucking mistake because not only was Tommy like fired like 3 months after that, so it wouldn't have even mattered. I'd have just been like in. I just felt bad because like Pauly Shore was like walking me down the hallway, and he's like, "Hey, do you know this guy?" And they knew me, and they were like, "Yeah." People that didn't want to see me do well were just like, "Yeah." He's like, "He's good, right?" And they're like, "Yeah," because like you can't say no when that's happening, so they just nod their head. But I was like, I want to do this the right way, and then I didn't do it the right way, and my mistake.
How long ago was that?
This must have been like 6 or 7 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, a few months before whenever Tommy was fired from there. But I was like, if I pass through that way, Tommy's the one you'd have to call up to get scheduled for the spots. So if I go over his head, he's never going to put me on the spots. So in my head, I was like, I'll just do it the right way.
I'll take your name down.
This will happen again. I'll do it the right way. And then I didn't call in to capitalize on that, and I should have. So now I probably have to go back in the regular way. But it wasn't going to like put me right through the top. It was going to put me right in the middle. So basically, I would be on Friends and Family, and I would be doing those 5 or 6 minute spots on other people's shows. But I felt dirty. But now I realize I fucked that up. I should have.
Yeah, you should have.
That was when I was living next to there too. That was when I lived next door, so I could have just fucking
So. You could have like rolled out of bed and fucking been in the comedy store, dude.
That's true though. That's a true story. I haven't really talked to him since. He probably wouldn't remember me.
That Tommy guy?
Pauly Shore.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He just happened to walk by like a show I was doing a guest spot on, like, because I traded spots with somebody. So I was in the main room. It was like one of those shows with like 100 people, and this is a big bringer show. But I was just there because I gave a friend a spot. So I was doing a set, and it was going good because there was 122-year-old blonde girls, which is my favorite audience. So like the set was going good.
That's the best audience.
It's like so it was going good. And then he saw like the last 2 or 3 minutes when I closed. I got off stage, and then he's like, "Hey, let me talk to you right now." And I'm like, hey, you're awesome." And then he's like walking me around, and then nope. Fuck that up, Mike. But
we could go back tonight and we could try again.
Go back in time.
Go back in time, dude. Holy fuck, man. Yeah, my only time was just that Kill Tony thing, and then I've gone to like a couple of the other open mics. But I just see there's people that just totally like hang out just to fanboy the fuck out.
Well, I feel like that's you have to hang out there all the time, fanboy, sacrifice doing spots. I prefer to like guaranteed go up somewhere and work on like a 10-minute set than maybe get up for 3 minutes and just fake smile for like 3 hours and hang out there. Because like people that get through there hang out there and they're funny and they work at it. Like some of the people that hang out there, they can hang out there all they want. Like they're not going to be able to get in just on politics alone. You have to back it up. Like when you get your chance, go kill it. And a lot of those people, a lot of them do. Half of the people that hang out there are really funny. And half the people that hang out there just think if they hang out there, they'll automatically be in.
Some like Chris D'Elia is going to be like, "Hey, you want to go on the road with me?" Like,
that's a different way to get in with
wishful thinking.
If you hang around like a comic there a lot, like they'll take the people on the road that they can kind of like push around. So they're not going to take somebody like that's like on their level, like a big headliner like that. If they don't mind you being around and you do stuff for them, like almost like you're their like little intern, those people will open for comics for like years. So like if you find the right comic you gel with. So even if he's like making fun of you and like you're kind of the guy who's hanging out with like the big boys and he's just giving you shit, that guy will take you on the road and develop you and get you shit. So that's another great way to get in.
You're like a prospect.
Yeah, no, for real. It's like you're like AAA and then eventually like you graduate to the point where like a lot of those comics will just give each other shit and then bring up the comics, keep giving them shit. Then they get to the level, they're like, all right, now you're in with us. Let's get a new kid to open for us.
This is more
but
like
then they're like, there's a way. Yeah, a little hazing. And then you kind of get to the middle ground where you're like the feature for that same comic. And then eventually you go off headline on your own. That's one way to really go. Another way is to just like make a lot of calls and self-invent, like create your own tour, bring a lot of people with you. By the book way, you can go to the Comedy Store or the Improv and just follow the rules and just hang out there and wait around. But if you don't want to wait around, you could find somebody to get in with, or you can start your own shit. Or just having your own show will get you a lot of local spots. But if you want to get the money, that's going out of town. So you have to call up bars in the middle of nowhere and be like, hey, do you guys have a comedy night? / somebody who could promote because I know nobody in fucking Tuscaloosa. You know, like, so not only do you go to some weird towns, like you set up the deal, but like if they're not going to bring you if you don't have like a following. So you need to go with somebody who does. So that way they see you as funny. They can bring you back as like a feature. And then that way they can justify bringing you in as a headliner when you have no fucking following in their club in Texas.
Or if you have headliners vouch for you, that's another way.
That's another good one. They'll vouch for you by you doing more shows with them. It's like how often are headliners, even if you have like your own show, how often is a headliner going to really watch you?
That's very true.
They usually do their set and they'll leave or they'll pop in at the end. You want to like go with them somewhere so that you're the only other comic. Like you're their opener. So that way they're watching you because they want you to warm up the crowd for them. And you do it. They're like, fuck, Justin warmed up that crowd. I like him. Because then there's stakes. There's no stakes if you're like, hey, can you watch my set before your set? Like a show of 12 comics. They'll say yes and they won't do it. I know that because I've said yes and just walked right out. You're like, can you watch my set at a fucking like open mic? I'm like, well, I'm supposed to, but I am in that room less than half of the time because like it's a lot to watch 3 hours of comedy. You know?
Oh, totally. It totally is. But it's also fun to like see new people, and you're like, oh, that's fucking. Yeah. That's how you
it's
learn.
Also cool to see like
you know?
Yeah, it's cool to hang out with new people and see like new takes on things, new vibes. So,
but then also it's like, fucking some open mics are just like nightly daycares for crazy people, dude.
Oh yeah. Well, that's sometimes the fun part if you feel safe. Like if you have if you're there with a group of friends, or if like you feel like they're crazy but they're not like over the edge crazy. Occasionally, like somebody will walk into a place and I'm like, this is gonna end poorly if we don't all get the fuck out of here.
This guy's probably got a gun.
There was somebody at the club yesterday who was a little cuckoo.
At the haha?
Yeah, I don't think she went on stage. She stayed in the lobby.
It was that blonde chick, huh?
She kept
was
talking
trying to
everybody.
Heckle fucking Callahan, and then
oh, she walked into the room at some point.
Yeah, she walked into the room.
Did you put her up?
No, she was in the comments.
She was trying to talk to Jack and get a 20-minute open mic set in like a week. And they were like, well, we don't do that. And she's like, I'm not a comic, but I need 20 minutes. and then she was like, then she sat there and she got bored for like after a minute. So she walked into other people's conversations and was like,
dude, I hate that shit when fucking people just want to like.
I think she just wanted attention. I think she got hammered and she wanted attention. But it was like, she must have been like in 40s. Like if you're like hammered and you want attention, you can be given a little slack if you're like somebody's little brother or if you're like an attractive young person.
But not when you're
like in their 40s and like you're bossing people around and telling your political views. At one point she joined, asked Charlie about this. Charlie was having a conversation about something completely irrelevant and then she walks in there and starts talking about politics. And I'm like, fucking, what did you fucking like
No,
pregame
I
during
asked
like
her to
this?
leave, dude. I was asking her to leave, and she was like, "What are you gonna do? You gonna remove me?"
Yeah, she seemed unstable. Like
Yeah,
she seemed
totally.
like dangerously like unstable. So I didn't talk to her. I didn't fuck with her. I didn't like even like say anything. Like if she said something, I politely smiled and laughed, and then I walked away. And I
Callahan
left.
did this thing where she was like clapping for him. He was like, "Can you come up here and do that?" And then fucking he
got
had
her involved?
He had her clapping for like 2.5 minutes, just fucking the whole fucking
During
time.
it, that's
I was
amazing.
like, dude, he's mind fucking her right now.
That's the way to fucking use her, because then she gets the attention. Oh, that's fucking great. He used her as like a magician's assistant.
It was the best.
That's why I wish I saw that.
Yeah.
But I got out of there because I was like 50-50 this ends in somebody getting shot. That's why I'm very paranoid. Like I'll go to every time I go to the movies, I make sure to like watch everybody going in because I'm always afraid I'm going to get shot.
Look for the escape
I'm
routes and
serious.
shit, dude.
I feel like yeah.
That's
And
what I
also,
do, too.
like I get really sketched. I go to the movies alone a lot because I have fucking I have AMC stubs, so I can see like 12 movies a month, and a lot of times I'll see movies at like 1 in the afternoon when nobody's around. So it's usually like 6 other people in there. And all the individuals look sketchy, but I probably also look sketchy. I think this is the way I feel safe. If you're at the movies and you're eating something, if you have like popcorn or a drink, I write you off. I'm like, oh, you're safe.
No, because your hands are on that.
No,
food
no,
or
no, no,
what?
because nobody's gonna fucking show a movie theater while eating popcorn. I don't think so. Actually eating it. And then also if you're with like a date or a couple other people, you're fine. But I scout out and I sit in the back corner like a fucking hawk.
In the
Like
darkness.
I sit in the back right corner because it's the easiest path to get to the right exit. And I just kind of like eye everybody. I don't like anybody behind me. And I feel like statistically there's been less shootings at movie theaters than anywhere else. Like versus like schools or like hospitals or malls. I think there's only like 2 ever. And it was like at like prime time 10 p.m. full theater showings. Like nobody's getting shot up at like a 5. But the security, when there's only like fucking 4 people at a 1 o'clock movie, there's nobody fucking there. So like if you were gonna go on it's free, you can do that and get away with it. That's just how paranoid I am.
There's always like planning
Yeah.
escape routes and shit, dude.
I always think-
Don't make eye contact with fucking panhandlers and shit, dude.
All my well,
Follow you like a stray.
One time a woman sat next to me in an empty theater. There's only 4 people in there. And I'm in the back right corner, and she sits in the seat next to me, which was the scariest thing ever. She puts her purse, like a huge purse, on her lap. And that was a huge red flag to me. But
That's weird.
the whole movie, I couldn't even enjoy it. I was just sitting there. I was
Why
like,
would you
what's going to
sit
happen?
Right next to somebody.
And then
that-
somebody told me maybe she put her purse on her lap because she didn't want to put it on the sticky movie theater floor, which is a fair point.
Right.
But still, like, if you're sitting there like this, holding your purse, that is creepy. So, like, the whole time I was just, like, looking like this. And then I got up to, like, the end of the movie. Then I kind of got up and watched the final 10 minutes from, like, the side. I didn't even enjoy the movie. And it was a fun movie. I was like,
Because she was just fucking.
Well, because,
creeping
like,
you out.
when somebody sits next to you in an empty theater, like, how fucking sketch is that?
That's
It's pretty
extremely
sketch.
sketch, dude.
Like, I'm surprised I lasted so long. I was more nervous about leaving and her noticing and thinking that because I also had a backpack because I think I was going to a show or something after. So, like, it's easier to slip out when you don't have a backpack and then you're going to, like, the bathroom. But if you have your own backpack, my fucking backpack kept me there for, like, an hour 20 of the movie. And I left at the end and I pretended to get a call and I took it out there and then I watched the last 10 minutes just in that sideways area where you get to where
the
the
little walkway area.
Yeah, just so I could sprint out if something happened. And everything was okay, but that
That
was
is fucking weird, though. That is so weird to just like sit down next to somebody in an empty theater.
yeah.
My thing, dude, when I go to the fucking gym, I try to get the locker that's like away from everybody, right? And then I'll always come back to my locker and somebody put their shit like right next. I'm like, dude, all these empty fucking spaces and you have to put your shit right next to mine.
I also don't like fucking like. I feel like so much shit gets stolen at the gym. Have you ever had anything stolen at the gym?
No,
I'm fucking paranoid.
I'm not. I see those people that put all their stuff in the lockers with no lock. I'm like, dude, that's fucking dumb.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll like literally.
And I've heard people, like, I've been at the gym and heard people that are like, yeah, dude, all my shit's gone.
I've had friends with locks get their shit stolen. So like clearly, like people are trying really hard in the gym. So like I have like my phone, my keys, and my wallet like in the shower with me, but I'm trying not to get them wet. So they're in like a plastic bag,
Really?
just sitting next to there. Like that way, like they're not they're not in the shower. They're like right outside of it. I don't know. Once again, I'm just paranoid. I don't like to leave.
So
my
like
shit.
when you smoke weed, you're like extra paranoid.
No.
Or
I
you're
mean-
not paranoid at all.
I think I'm the opposite. Most people get really paranoid. I get paranoid if I have too much edibles.
Oh, dude, I don't
But like if
fucking edibles.
I'm smoking, I'll get less paranoid. I'll get more relaxed.
I don't like edibles at all. They drain my energy, dude.
Yeah.
And then
Well, I mean, I think it's very hard to gauge the right amount because every edible is made differently versus homemade versus the store brand. You can get the store brand with the exact measurements on it. It'll still be different every time.
I totally fucking agree with that.
My one time I ate like I forget what it was. It was like huge ass brownie from a random guy in the San Francisco park with a bag that had weed on it, and I ate the whole thing because when it doesn't kick in, you just keep going. And I was high for 48 hours, and I made the mistake of going to the haha mic right when it kicked in, and I was sitting there watching it, and it was the weirdest feeling because I couldn't move. It was terrifying, and every set felt like 45 minutes, even though they were 5. And I had seen some of these comics because they were friends, so I knew their sets. But in my head, I was like, how do I know what they're going to say? I could see the future. Then I ran to Quiznos. There used to be a Quiznos next to the old haha. I think it's like Arby's now or something. It became like a health food store. And I ate 36 inches of sandwich, hoping that would fix it. And that just made me more high. And I went to bed at like 6 p.m. And this is back when I had like an office job for a little bit. I woke up for work, and I was higher than when I went to bed. So the whole day at the office, I'm just like sitting there.
That's the thing I don't like about those edibles too. It's like if you smoke, dude, you can fucking throw water in your face and like fucking snap back into it, you know?
Yeah.
Edibles, you just have to wait it out.
You have to ride it out.
Or they'll fucking make you pass out, dude. I'm like, sucks my energy out, dude. Maybe if I'm like tired and I'm just gonna fucking call it a night, I'll eat maybe like a little fucking candy thing and drink some tea and pass the fuck out.
That is the best. Like when you're going to bed and you take like a couple of gummy worms or something, fucking knock you out good.
While you're watching TV.
I'm always apprehensive about doing something important. Like if it's the middle of the day and like we're going to like a festival or we're going to an amusement park, I'm like, all right, I don't know about this.
Dude, I bought a bag of fucking like the cookies, like the little chocolate chip cookies. And I didn't like eat any breakfast or anything. So I was just like, oh, I'm going to fucking just eat this. This is food. And then I like ate 3 of them. I'm like, this is not fucking food, dude. What are you doing?
The problem is when they taste good.
Yeah.
Like most edibles are delicious.
It's all junk food though, too. Isn't that funny? It's all like food you would eat as munchies.
Yeah.
If you smoked weed.
There's no fucking. I saw a weed salad once. Somebody made a weed salad.
I could take the fuck out of that.
I almost like tried it out of curiosity. But it was getting sold for like, it was in like one of those packages like a Trader Joe's salad. But I assume it was in the dressing. The dressing is probably what made it. I didn't get it because it was like $30 for the salad. Yeah, I was like, I'm kind of curious.
No. Yeah. Like those fucking like moon rocks and shit, dude. I'm not paying $30 for a joint, dude.
I mean, I'm just not good at rolling joints. I'll buy a box of pre-rolled joints just because like I don't want to have to spend hours.
That's the fun, dude.
Yeah, if you're good at it. Everybody's like, I can roll the best joint. And I'm like,
Everybody
can't.
says that. I can roll one that's smokable. That's it.
Me and my friend got paid. Well, we got a lot of money from a show, but we also got like a handful of weed, and we didn't have a piece on us or anything. So we both were the people who never rolled the blunts. Because growing up, there's always somebody who's eager. Like, I got this. I'll roll the best blunts. And I'm like, okay. So I never really like learned like tying your shoes. Like everybody knows that. It's like I feel like I'm too old.
I probably smoked a gallon of your spit.
I'm too old to do it right. So we were just on somebody else's car next to the hotel we were staying. I don't know why the fuck we didn't do this in the room. We're on a car just trying to roll it up, and it was like fucking watching 2 complete idiots. It was like the 3 Stooges or the 2 Stooges just trying to get it, and eventually we gave up. And we just didn't smoke.
You're like, hey, fuck it. Let's just eat the weed, bro. I've done that before.
But sometimes that doesn't fucking work. You got to heat it up.
Before you eat it?
I mean, yeah, usually.
I don't know. I've just had like an ounce of weed, and I'm like, that looks like a pretty scrumptious nug, and just fucking, you know?
I wish it was that easy. I mean, did it do anything for you?
No.
Yeah, I mean,
not really.
Maybe you were already...
Maybe made my shit smell like weed.
Oh, yeah, that's not a bad thing. It's better than fucking lighting a candle in there. It's like that dude poops vape smoke.
Oh my god. All right.
I think I got to move my car soon. That was a long
right
time.
on, Mike. Thanks for fucking joining me.
Dude, thank you for having me by, and thank you for sharing this sweet corn soda, sponsored by Lester's Fixins.